Welcome to So Local Pasco TV, where we can't roll our eyes at the camera or the people making fun of us off camera. I'm Greg Smithwick, your host, So Local Pasco TV, a weekly program where we talk about art, culture, events, politics. We're going to venture into the political realm for the first time today with candidate for County Commission Barry Horvath. He's going to join me in just a few minutes, as will Jamie Maloney from the Sunwest Crab and Shrimp Festival. Stay tuned for all of that. So here we are back at So Local Pasco TV. I'm your host, Greg Smithwick. It's great to be with you today. This should be a fun thing. And here's the funny part is my first guest has been spending a lot of time in very serious places. So he gets to cut loose a little bit today. Hopefully we'll get some sweet karate moves out of him when he joins us. But before we go to Barry, I know you're all waiting for Barry to come join me and talk politics here on So Local Pasco TV. But before we get to that, a couple of things going on that I want you to be aware of. My friend Corey Cottrell and musical guests are playing tonight up at Skinny's in Hudson. It's going to be a fun time. If you've never gotten out to see Corey and his merry band of men, you should definitely get out for that. Also tomorrow, a party happening right here in downtown Newport Richey in Railroad Square, which is that part of Nebraska Avenue between Grand Boulevard and Adams Street. They block off both ends. We're going to have a big block party down there brought to you by my friends at Rock the Boat Productions. There will be live music, games, giant Jenga, Barry. There will be giant Jenga. I don't even know what that is, but I have to go because I just like saying giant Jenga. So that's the block party tomorrow at Railroad Square from noon to 4. Be there, downtown Newport Richey. Next weekend, and we're going to talk to Jamie Maloney about this. The Sunwest Crab and Shrimp Festival is happening at Sunwest Park up in Hudson. We used to call that the Hudson Pits. Not that I personally ever skipped school, went there, drank beer, or fired guns, but I'm told that's what used to happen at that location back in the 70s and probably in the 80s as well. So that's all things that are happening here on the Suncoast, here in So Local Pasco country. Barry, do you know how we define So Local Pasco? That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Think fast, hippie.
Tell me, Greg.
Okay, I define So Local Pasco as from the 41 corridor to Anclote Island, okay, and from county line to county line. So we're actually not always talking, we're never talking about East Pasco on So Local Pasco. We're talking about West Pasco County, and that's important because there is a great need for some revitalization and recognition of what's available to you here in this part of the county. We don't have to go to Pinellas County or Hillsborough County for entertainment purposes. We can. But we should be supporting the artists that live and work among us every day, every week. And that's kind of why I started doing all this, was to recognize that we do have some culture here in West Pasco County, and it's not all in the bottom of your yogurt cup. So my first guest, who has already appeared and I haven't yet introduced, because we're professionals, this is what we do. Barry Horvath is a community icon, do-gooder, charitable coordinator, business owner, mortgage broker, rock star. Doesn't get much more amazing than this. Barry graduated Hudson High School a couple of years behind me, and he was in a band called Shadowfax, and I used to actually sneak into venues to see Shadowfax play because I wasn't old enough to drink. And so I think it's safe to say, Barry, if you are elected to the county commission, you will be Pasco County's first ever county commissioner / rock musician.
What an honor that will be.
Would that be amazing or what?
That would be just totally amazing to have that. No, I can't even say that.
What?
No.
Groupies? Are you going to make a groupie reference?
No, let's talk about you sneaking into the Hacienda Hotel back in the day.
Yes, it's true.
Underage, is that true?
Absolutely true.
True story?
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, several people that you know and met lived there for a while. Richie Silva lived there.
Yes.
Lee Seltman lived there. And
Yes.
Jeff Gaines from Hudson High School. They all lived there when it was a boarding house.
All right, let me let you in on a secret, Greg.
Yes.
All those people used to sneak into the Hacienda Hotel were underage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a little So Local Pasco history for you.
Yes.
That's something you won't hear from Jeff Miller on the tour of the West Pasco Historical Society, although I feel like another 10 years we'll be safe having our own wing.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
We'll put us all in the museum.
So tell me more about, this is the first time I've been on your show.
Wait a minute,
Listen to your
who's
podcast.
interviewing who?
No, I want to interview you first so I know what we're going to talk about here.
Sure.
Tell me, how did this all got started? Because you are obviously supporting Local Pasco. Okay?
Yes.
Of course, I'm running for county commissioner. I have to remind you, it's the entire Pasco.
Oh, that's true. That's
752 square miles. So,
Okay.
So we might have to expand your show base a little
Well,
bit.
I'm willing to talk about that, but somebody's going to buy me a better car because I can't afford to travel to Dade City and back 3 times a week. So that's what's happening there.
And he's
So
not lying, folks. I've seen his car.
It's true.
Yep.
It's a 2000 Kia. You don't want. Okay. Well, here's what happened. Is I was working in the counseling field in a family business for several years, and I got downsized. Everybody got better. We didn't need to do therapy with people anymore, and so that's really not what happened. But my mom wanted to have a smaller practice, so all the group therapy stuff was going to go away, and that's what I was doing was facilitating group therapy, which is why I'm a good fit for local television.
Yeah.
Essentially, I sat down last summer to think about what I would want to do. And I am an old radio guy. I love radio, but not in a nostalgic way. Like I think the radio model is kind of broken, and we need to be thinking about new ways to deliver radio programming. So what if I could make a radio program in my house? And I actually built a small studio. I can do everything a radio station can do except broadcast live. And I actually could do that. It's just not a technology that I'm willing to pay for just yet.
So what you're trying to figure out is how do you get to stay in your pajamas all
Pretty
day
much.
and deliver a great message,
Right.
And maybe even get paid for it.
That would be really good. Getting paid for it would actually be a really sweet development. The truth is, I do have some paid sponsors that surprised my advisor. Told me he thought it might take a year, but within a matter of 2 months, we now have 3 paid sponsors for the podcast.
Right.
Happens every day. It's a very short program. It's getting a little longer as we progress.
Rumor has it it's going to get really long here.
Yeah, well, that's the TV show. The TV
Right.
show is going to go from a half hour this week. Okay, so you just blew my big announcement.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, the big announcement is next week, So Local Pasco will actually be 1 hour long. Now, what I forgot to ask John, the producer, while he was standing here, was we'll get to your campaign.
Sorry, I'm sending some.
We'll get to you. We'll get to you. Is John? I don't know if our show is going to air from 3 to 4, from 3:30 to 4:30, or what the story is going to be there. But maybe somebody can tell us that. Anyway, next week the show will be an hour long. So things are growing for me professionally, and I really appreciate you asking me that question.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's great what you're doing out there in the community, just connecting people. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what I'm all about. I mean, I think you recognize that.
It's what got me to call you the first time to be on the show, was recognizing that you were coordinating people for massive community efforts, and that's pretty special. And I really, aside from the West Pasco Business Association business part, I'll tell anybody that listens that why I belong to your group is because the first thing, in your show, the first thing that gets done is the charity work, and the business networking happens because of the charity work.
Well.
So that's a plug for Barry's group, the West Pasco Business Association, of which I am a member.
WPBA.
Moderately good standing.
Sorry, did I put that in there?
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, enough about me. You are here to talk to us.
I wasn't done with you yet.
No.
All right, let's talk
can-
about your radio face now.
Okay, I have the perfect face for radio. I say that to everybody that will stand still.
But you do have, you know what? You have that voice that's like soothing, and people can listen to you,
Yes.
and it's like.
I used to do the love songs.
Yeah.
Nothing but love songs.
You and Delilah
That's right.
do make a great team.
Delilah.
Yeah, you've never listened to Delilah?
No.
Oh my
Should
gosh.
I?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this a radio show person?
Yeah, she
Oh,
does.
see.
Everybody else here knows who Delilah is. I'm sure our listeners know who Delilah is.
Right.
It's very.
I think
she has a woman's version. She has your voice in a woman's body, and it's very soothing. It's comforting.
I'm not sure that I'm comfortable with that comparison, but okay. But I think the more important question would be why Delilah?
Just
rather
because
than-
Delilah cares.
Okay.
That's what she does. People call in.
Is she
they're-
local? Is she on local
No,
radio?
she's national.
Okay.
People call in, they're like, oh, I got this problem, la, 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 la.
Okay.
And then she says, it's going to be okay. I'm going to play a song for you, and it's going to make it all better. And she has that voice.
Okay.
I'm just telling you.
All right. Well, thank you. You know who I wanted to be like? Like some people want to be, they want to be the Basso Profundo radio guy.
Right.
Nick Van Cleve from Local Radio is the guy that I always wanted to sound like, because Nick sounds like a guy who's just sitting in your living room playing records for you.
Okay.
So I always wanted to have that folksy, boy next door, Nick Van Cleve kind of charm. So, all right. So enough about me, really, because we only got 4 minutes left now.
Oh, that's
See what
it?
you did? You burned up your whole,
That's
you
okay.
blew the whole gig.
That's all right. People need to know me. Before I am.
Typically long-winded.
Yes.
So you're running for County Commission District 3, which is Southwest Pasco, is that correct?
That is correct. It is the Southwest. We call it the Trinity Corridor, and it's a very long district, but the important thing for people who watch the show, it is a county-wide vote.
Right.
I do
right.
represent one district, when I'm elected, of course.
Right.
But it is a county-wide vote, so any Pasco voter can vote. And we have 5 commissioners in our county, and each one represents a different district.
So your wide, narrow district, that's where all the spaghetti is grown in
Yes,
Southwest,
yes,
those long,
we are
thin
known
spaghetti
in
farms?
Trinity for spaghetti farming, yes.
We should have saved that for April 1st, but
Yeah, we
anyway.
should've.
All right, so, okay, so there, I want to let people in on this, that I wanted to make sure that I didn't ask any ambush questions. So I asked Barry to provide me with, if there's anything you want me to ask about. And the 3 things that you put on the list that were key. No details, and that's good. Why is that, Barry?
Because I don't have anything to hide.
There you go. No agenda, nothing to hide, and
There's
that's
no
why.
agenda here. In fact, I have no special interest in actually running for commissioner.
Okay.
I truly want to step up, make a difference in the county. I'm not looking to be a career politician. I'll go in, do my duty, just as our founding fathers said. Politics was just, it was made for people to come in, put their efforts in, and then move on to their real lives. It's not supposed to be a career job for anybody. We're all supposed to step up, make a difference. Well, it was my turn, and if I wasn't going to step up, I didn't hear you were going to. So,
No.
And if you were, I wouldn't even run, because I'm like, you're a good guy. I'd be afraid,
Yeah, I would get to the first round of questions about my background, and I'd be out. I'd be done. So,
well, it's that pre-1986 stuff.
Yes. That's exactly the right time frame for me to have been in trouble.
There, right?
All right. So the 3 things that you wrote down, and we don't have a whole lot of time, but flooding, safety, and revitalization are the 3 things that you put on the card for me. So if you could pick. If there's one thing that you think you can have a direct impact on as county commissioner.
Well, there's a lot of things I think I can have a direct impact on, but it's going to take time.
What's the one you can't wait for
overnight.
them to ask you about?
You know what? The hot topic in Trinity is flooding.
Right.
Because we have a very reactive approach to flooding. We are not proactive about anything. So that's, it's near and dear to me. In fact, part of the reasons I'm running is because my office building, which is in Trinity, started flooding, and I couldn't even find sandbags available.
Right.
So again, here we are, people are flooding, it's been raining for weeks, and we don't even have a plan in place to help those people that are flooding. And now what are we doing? Well, now we got programs to rebuild those homes, but
they're going to flood again if we don't.
And that made me passionate about, and that made me decide, you know what? Somebody's got to step up here. And I'm not saying we don't have plans in place. Don't get me wrong. I know we have a lot of good things happening in this county, but I just think maybe we could be a little more proactive on many things out there.
So what do you think we can improve in our flood planning?
How about a plan in place to just clean out the drainage?
That's probably a pretty good idea.
Let's not wait till we flood and say, oh, by the way, we're flooding. Can you come fix me? Yeah, we'll get to you. And let me bring a pump to you. And, that'll fix everything.
Well, that's going to require crews on trucks who have to get paid to go out and clean out those drainage areas. And, my assumption is if we're not paying to improve parks, maybe that's part of the problem is we don't have enough people on county payroll.
Yeah, and we are definitely, in fact, I talked to Road and Bridge. There's only 74 people right now on staff for 752 square miles, which you need to cover.
Yeah, so that's all right.
It's just,
I was absent during math class.
Yeah, you skipped that class.
It's not enough people to cover that.
It's not enough people, but but if we could find ways like, Sunwest is a great example of bringing people to Pasco. Spend another day here. Give them a reason. Let's beautify that. We have a great county. We're on the coast. That penny for Pasco was designed to help generate, to make parks.
Right.
And if we could get people to just come here, stay for another day, spend their dollars. Guess what? We have more revenue to hire more people. I mean, it's
Right.
It's pretty simple when you think about it.
It is, but with the emphasis seemed to be for a lot of years, let's attract people here, but then when they got here, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, now what, right?
Exactly.
So it seems like Sunwest is a good example, and how timely that is today. Say that again, James.
Hey.
How much time? Okay, we're going to run out of time. We're going to run out of time. So you know what this means? You're going to have to come back and be on the show again.
You'll
when
do anything to get me on that camera.
That's
won't you?
right.
You
When we
just
go to an hour-length show, you can come and we can talk
That's fine. That's
extensively about our.
There's a lot of things in Pasco that we have a wonderful county. Love it here. Been here since '73.
Right.
And I plan to stay here. So.
Barry's one of the few people I meet in my travels who's actually been in Pasco County longer than me, because I came here in 1974 from South Florida. So there you go. Pioneer,
Yes.
Barry Horvath, running for County Commission District 3, but it is a countywide election, as he reminded you, so that means even if you live out there in Dade City or Worsley Chapel or Hudson, where I live, you can vote for Barry. You will be voting for Barry. You will be voting for Barry in the
Wow, that was
upcoming
pretty
county
subliminal.
commission. Yes, it's my background as a hypnotist that I don't
That's
tell
right.
anybody about. So there we go. That's Barry Horvath. I'm Greg Smithwick. This is So Local Pasco TV, and we'll be right back with Jamie Maloney from the Sunwest Crab and Shrimp Festival. Stick around.
This is one bee that loves going to the dentist because it's made for you and me.
My name is Dr. Becerra from New Tampa Pediatric Dental, providing a comfortable atmosphere in early dental care. Gives kids a great start for healthy teeth and gums for life.
My middle son did not like to come to the dentist, but now he loves to come to the Beehive.
You don't have to be afraid to go to the dentist. Believe me, Dr. B and his worker bees are the best. Call New Tampa Pediatric Dental today.
Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonatti created, perfected, and patented the Bonatti spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonatti invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonatti spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonatti succeeds where others fail.
Walk through life. Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let's take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day. And everything's going your way. And you wanna make it last forever. We'll keep it together, 'cause it keeps getting better. Whoa, whoa.
All right, so we are back, and I'm on the small camera, right? Am I on the small? Yes, I'm on the small camera. There you go. Hi, welcome back to So Local Pasco TV, where I'm still learning how to do my job. I am Greg Smithwick, your host, and we want to thank Barry Horvath. Two things I forgot to mention. Barry wanted me to make sure that you know there is a Barry for Pasco page on Facebook. You can go there. You can learn how you can volunteer for his campaign or contribute to his campaign, and that is something he's going to need to do if we're going to elect him to make a difference here in Pasco County. Got to have money got to put internet flowing through the tubes and lights on in the campaign office. It's important. So look for Barry for Pasco on Facebook. Also, he gave me a scoop here. His son is also a rock musician. He's in a really fantastic national pop band called Jewel Vera, and those kids are posting pictures of them all over the place. The scoop is Jewel Vera is going to play at Chasco Fiesta right here in Sims Park this year, so you'll want to get some information on that. Go to the Chasco Fiesta website. I'm sure there is a page showing you the information on how to get to see Jewel Vera. Great little band, local as it gets. So local. That's what we're on about. I'm really hoping those guys have a hit record, and I'll get to introducing Jamie in a second here. But Jamie, did you know there's only been one top 40 hit, one number one hit ever from a band from Pasco County?
No kidding.
You know what it was?
I don't.
It was "Let Your Love Flow" by the Bellamy Brothers in 1975.
There you go.
Bertie Higgins had a number 8 hit with Key Largo.
Yep.
But he's actually from Tarpon Springs.
Right. Yeah, he's just down the road.
Yeah. He used to hang around up here a lot, but as far as that goes, only one. So it would be the greatest thing ever if Jewel Vera were to have a number one hit record. So maybe we can make that
fantastic.
happen. So here's who's joining me. Jamie Maloney is. I'm going to read off a list of roles that Jamie fulfills. He's been a guest on the podcast before. He and his partner in crime, George Hulse, showed up to talk about what's happening at Sunwest Mine. Jamie is the executive director of Students Survival of Hudson, and this is a coordinated effort to provide some after-school guidance. Is that the right word?
That's pretty good. Yeah,
some structure and guidance?
We operate out of Veterans Park up in Hudson.
Right.
We partner with the Park Service to provide after-school services to middle school and high school kids because they seem to be the forgotten segment of kids.
Right. What are those services? What are we talking about? Tutoring?
We do some tutoring. Mondays and Wednesdays we do tutoring. We provide some food. We provide different activities or just a safe place for them to hang out.
I'm fascinated and curious about this program. I went to Hudson High School back before there was a Veterans Park, and really it was kind of a zone out there where there was nothing within a mile of the school. If you escaped from school for an hour, it was sort of like you were escaping from prison. You were going to have to make a break for it through the woods. It was pretty sketchy. So kids, what you're finding, I guess, is kids that just naturally gravitate towards the park because it's got basketball hoops and open fields and places to hang out?
That's got lots of places to hang out, some to get in trouble, and that's what we were trying to combat. Before we started, there was a number of fights, a number of drugs, a couple different things going on up there. That's cleaned up pretty well since we've been there because we give them an alternative. And most kids don't want to hang out outside and do nothing, get in trouble.
Right.
They'll do something fun.
So what? So I have a suspicion about what you're going to tell me, but I would suspect that they take some ownership of the park once they're involved in the program. Is that what you see happening?
Yes, they do, and it becomes a little bit more. They become more responsible.
Okay.
And, just better behaved, a little bit more respectful we try and stress community as well.
Right.
And, our ultimate goal is to spread right down the 19 corridor, out to 41, the different parks and rec buildings, to give an alternative to, a lot of kids don't play sports. A lot of kids, don't do that stuff, so they'll go hang out outside and do things not so desirable.
Like skateboarding.
Like skateboarding, yeah, like skateboarding.
Yeah, there's several skateboarders in the booth right now.
Well, there you go.
Angry with me for saying that. That's okay.
There you go.
I'm a longboard skater. The longboards you ride down mountains.
Those are awesome.
Mountain roads. That's what I did. And funny thing, most of the kids in the longboarding movement where I lived were young, disaffected kids, and there's a long cultural tradition of skateboarders being abused by authority, okay?
Right.
Because at first, in the 50s and 60s when skateboarding was new, and the wheels were made of stone, there were ceramic skateboard wheels, right? But they would skate, pushing themselves along with big wooden clubs is what the whippersnappers in the booth are talking about, yes. We would just take a roller skate and nail it to a board. Anyway, they skated on the street, and the police in all the local jurisdictions where skateboarding was blossoming were very, very not okay with that, and they would confiscate skateboards. And so you had to, get off the street, you rotten kid, is what they were told.
Right.
And so what they started doing was skating on sidewalks, skating on the rail grinding and stair jumps and what's the term I'm looking for? I don't want to say flat ground skating, but all the trick skating that you see developed because they weren't allowed to be on the streets. And then we made it illegal for them to be on the sidewalk. So skateboarders have often been at like the cutting edge of, well, what are we supposed to do with our time kind of movement?
Right.
Funny enough, the longboard movement is actually grown-ups like me taking the street back. And I would skate down a hill with 20 young people, and they would all get pulled over and hassled, and I would just skate right on by because I have gray hair and a mustache. Everybody thought I was a grown-up. But I like the idea of giving these kids some investment, because here's what I found about the longboard kids is, they did misbehave and they got into the same kind of trouble as everybody else's kids, but when there was something happening that was going to make their community better, they were the first people to volunteer as a group. Okay,
Absolutely.
So I like to see these kids get an investment in the idea that those parks belong to them.
Right, and that's big. And one of the things that we've talked about is putting a skate park in.
Why aren't we doing that now?
So we're working on it. That's on the
I actually literally know people that can make that happen.
That's one of the things we've talked about, and there's some places that we've been looking at. So
like a particle accelerator
that's
of awesomeness in Local Pasco country, because people run into each other, have a great idea. I can help you do that. Things happen. So that's what we're gonna work on. All right. So. There's a really great concept about the reason that graffiti tagging started in inner cities in the Bronx and Philadelphia was because those kids had no sense that the buses or the schools were theirs. They had no ownership stake in the places that they were tagging, and if they weren't getting art supplies. So if you were ever going to see your name on something, you were going to have to steal some spray paint and put your name on it. And I like the idea of involving kids at that level at the parks to give them an ownership stake in the parks in our community. So good job, man. Was this your idea?
This was my idea. I have two kids. I have two middle schoolers now. Right. They were coming to that age, and I saw the need in the community. So
all right, okay. So let's talk about. So that's only one of the three things that you do that we want to talk about today.
There you go.
Coordinator of the Sunwest Athletic Association, and you guys are doing participative sports for adults and kids at Sunwest Park, correct?
Yes, we're going to be launching this year. We're going to be launching volleyball and soccer on the beach.
Nice.
Now that Sunwest has been developed, and it'll be the official grand opening this summer. We're going to start in June. Press release details will be coming out next week. So you got the scoop on it.
Okay. Hey.
And we're focusing on low cost because a number of the programs around here, and they're great programs. I support every one of them, but they're all at about $100.
Right.
To play, and that's minus equipment and your bat, your glove, your soccer ball, all that stuff. So doing it on the beach does two things. First, you don't have to have equipment.
No gear,
You just play in your socks. And the second thing we're going to try and do is keep the cost down as low as possible.
Right.
We're capping our costs for youth at $35.
Fantastic.
That's as far as we're going. We're going to do what we can with that, and we're going to make it a fun, good experience for the kids.
Great. I know I don't look like much of an athlete, but I played soccer. And beach soccer it's
hard.
It's fitness. Your calves and ankles and upper thighs will get really, really strong playing beach soccer. So good work on that. Now, next weekend, Friday and Saturday, correct?
Friday and Saturday.
The Sunwest Crab and Shrimp Festival. Tell us what's going on with that. What's going to happen there?
Okay, that's going to be good. We got involved in that as the nonprofit to assist, and we're getting some of the benefit out of this event. But what we're going to do is there's going to be a number of food vendors that will be focusing on shrimp, crab, seafood.
I should hope so.
You'd think. But there'll also be other food there, so you're not stuck feeding the kids something that they don't want. There'll be a kids area there for them. We'll have, I believe, some soccer nets set up. The volleyball nets will be set up so you can check it out. There'll actually be beer and wine, which is a first for Sunwest.
It's sort of a test run. The beer and wine sales kind of a test run.
It's a test run, and it works out good because nonprofits, 501c3s like us can go in, serve beer and wine, and we retain all the proceeds.
Fantastic.
And the state makes it really easy for us to raise money that way.
Okay.
They're also having a boat show, so they're going to have boats out there lined up for both days. The hours are 5 to 9 on Friday and 11 to 7 on Saturday.
Okay.
There'll be music the whole time. If you ask me what bands, I have no idea.
I know the U.S. Stones are going to be
US
there.
Stones are
and
one of them.
my good friends, Pat Calabresi, Mike Walzak, Mark Chirkup, Letter of Intent
Outstanding.
is one of your bands.
Outstanding.
See, there's a reason
there
I brought
you
you
go.
on board. It's
That's
just so
it.
I could pimp my friends in Letter of
That's
Intent.
outstanding.
Playing some hard rock out there for you.
Outstanding.
All right. What's the cost to come out to the Crab and Shrimp
I
Festival?
believe it's $5 to come out. There's also additional $5 parking at
And that's
the
per
park,
vehicle, the
yeah,
parking
per
per- right,
vehicle,
right.
but it's $5 per person for entry.
Okay.
Friday, there's no charge.
Oh, beautiful. So there you go. That's if you have not been to Sunwest Park, it's a beautiful facility. I think James might have run a few photos while we were talking. It's a gorgeous freshwater spring-fed beach. That's a rare thing in our county. Most of the springs are north of us. So get out and enjoy Sunwest Park. Get out and enjoy some participative youth and adult sports through the Sunwest Athletic Association, and support the important work that Jamie's doing with Student Survival Hudson. You can look them up on Facebook. You can look them up. Do you guys have a website or just the Facebook
Yeah,
presence?
westpasconow.org.
westpasconow.org is how you find Jamie and the wonderful work that he does. I know they always need volunteers. You just put up a call the other day for mentors to come talk to kids about things they need help with. And I know there are some of you that are available to talk to those kids. So rather than complain about the kids in your neighborhood that are making noise, why don't you go out and do something that preempts that by giving them some cause, some central focus for their energy that's more positive than maybe just hanging around playing Xbox 360 all day long. You nerds in the control room, you better straighten up, that's all I'm saying. You could grow up to be TV people if you do that.
There you go. That's what happens.
That's the worst possible thing.
Absolutely.
So there you go. Thank you, Jamie, very much for taking your time to come talk to us today. Right?
I appreciate
it. And we
it.
look forward to talking more about the sports things you got going on out there at the park. And
we'll keep you updated.
All right. I'm looking forward to a big crab and shrimp festival next weekend. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, it should be fun.
All right. Thank you very much. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is So Local Pasco. James, where are we time-wise? Where are we at time-wise? What? We're at 32 minutes. I mean, I have 32 minutes left. Oh, this is not going to go well now. All right. So we've covered everything we had to cover today. I want to, sort of reset, Jamie, the Crab and Shrimp Festival that's happening next weekend up at Sunwest Park. This weekend, the block party right here in downtown Newport Richey with live music and games and giant Jenga, because I just like saying that. And we want to thank Barry Horvath for taking time out of his busy campaign schedule to come out here and make fun of me. That's always a nice thing, to have your old friends show up and hassle you on TV. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll be back next week with more local art, culture, music, science. No, there won't be any science. But we'll see if we can put some musicians in some seats for you. We're going to go to an hour next week. So look forward to seeing me with much higher blood pressure as I try hard to fill my guest slots for an hour program. I'm Greg Smithwick. This is So Local Pasco TV. Check out solocalpasco.com. The blog post and podcast happen every day, 5 days a week. That's not every day. I lied. But on Saturdays, we do a music podcast, so it's a chance for you to hear some local musicians who are making noise in your bars, clubs, and venues here in town. Have a great week. Stay in school, kids.